Your relationship to money is tied to how you grew up, where you grew up, what you saw your parents doing to earn money, how they managed money, the messages you got as part of the society where you grew up about money, about who gets to have money and who doesn't. And it depends on a lot of factors like the class you belong to, the place where you were raised. So much goes into it. And yet, a lot of times we end up thinking that it is something that's just wrong with us as individuals. But there are things that we can do to help ourselves and each other develop better relationships with money, with abundance, and all of that good stuff. So today, I'm going to be doing a tarot reading around your relationship with money. Welcome back to Sweet Infinity. Today I'll be reading from the Light Seers Tarot Deck by Chris Ann. This is a pretty popular deck. You see it being used by a lot of readers. I think it's because the artwork is so accessible. It's just so relatable. It still has a lot in common with the original Rider Waite artwork and the depictions that are in there. But it just kind of has a nice spin on it that I find very accessible, sort of modern, but also has this mythical quality to it. I really like this deck, and this is a good size for my hand for shuffling purposes. And comes with a little booklet, which is nice. So let's shuffle and get started. I hope that you've had... Oh, wow. So before I even got started, the Empress card came out. So I'm going to leave that here, which is very interesting, especially considering we're talking about money and abundance today. So as I was saying, I hope that you had a chance to subscribe to this channel. And if not, please do so now so that we can stay in touch and that you get notified every time that I put out a video. You can also turn on the little bell icon next to the subscribe button. If you like my readings, I would love to hear from you because I have been thinking of opening up some coaching spots that I have available. And if you are interested in one-on-one guidance and coaching on any topics having to do with creativity and spirituality, I would love to hear from you. So we've also got the Lovers and the Queen of Cups. Wow. Fascinating. Okay. So we talk about abundance and the Empress, the Queen of Cups, and the Lovers comes up. That's very interesting. So we'll read those and then keep picking cards and seeing what happens, seeing what the cards want to tell us today. The first card that came up as soon as I started shuffling the deck is the Empress. The Empress is full of nurturing energy. She is the mother of the world. She is your energy, which is there to sustain so many people, the entire world, if you could. There's something in you that just wants to be part of this beautiful world that you are just aching to let out of you. You are just dying to want to share with the world. You have something in you, whether it's your creative output or maybe it's having children. It could be very much related to actually being pregnant and giving birth, because I'm seeing a lot of feminine energy and a lot of integrated energy here. Queen of Cups is about the ability of an artist or a nurturer or a healer to be able to share her gifts with the world, to be able to nurture healing energy, be in touch with her own emotional strength and this vault of emotional power and energy that you have, and being able to channel that in productive and positive ways. And then the Lover's card is, of course, about integrating your masculine and feminine sides, integrating the different aspects of your personality, the loving, nurturing side and the protective provider side, because we all have both aspects, right? So this is an amazing card if you are going into the healing arts of any kind, whether it's kind of a therapy or some kind of therapeutic arts, some kind of physical healing arts. Maybe you're thinking of becoming a nurse or going into medical school or acupuncture or anything like that. Herbal medicine, working with kids. There's a lot of energy of motherly guidance, the nurturing great mother archetype. There's a lot of that here. So if you are in any way interested in anything related to that, this is a great reading for that. When we started this reading, I said that our relationship to money is tied to how we were raised. And what this is telling me is that abundance for you is going to be available the more you get in touch with your nurturing side. The more you focus on nurturing others, the more abundant you will be. The more abundance you will see. Because again, these 3 cards are showing that there is energy for you. There is a calling for you in the healing and nurturing arts. So I want to look at some cards that have to do with how you got here and what you need to take from here to go forward. So let's talk about how you got here. 7 of Wands and King of Wands. So lots of wands here, huh? I'm seeing your parents in some way. This makes me think of either your real physical biological parents or some parental energy that you had around you. Could be grandparents, older siblings, people who influenced you in some way. And the 7 of Wands is about holding boundaries, being a kind of spiritual guardian. By that I mean maybe one or more of your parental figures or people who helped raise you were the kind of people who had to deal with a lot of incoming adversity or incoming challenges, and they learned to go within and be very centered and find a way to protect themselves and hopefully you from some of those incoming challenges. And then the other parent or parental figure might have been somebody who was very driven, passionate, maybe had a lot of ideas and switched their identity and their passion over time and was very much convinced of their passion. And so what I'm seeing is that in your childhood, you saw these 2 very different ways of dealing with the world. One was more inwardly focused. One was more about protecting what was there. Guardianship, boundaries, a kind of defensive, very needed defensive action to protect what's there. And another one who was very much looking for new adventures, looking for new territory, kind of a pioneer figure. They were influential in your life. And that's what you saw. And I don't see them looking at each other a lot. So there might have been conflict between them. That's possible, very likely. But it might not have been very overt, or it might have been overt, but I'm just not seeing them coming together. I'm seeing that they were very different people. And maybe you had these mixed messages. That's what I'm seeing so far. So, Knight of Swords. And you went off on your own. The Knight of Swords is about trying to find your own identity. You were not necessarily inspired by these figures to want to be like them. You wanted to find your own path. There are people in this world who, for one reason or another, basically follow in the footsteps of whoever came before them. And there's nothing wrong with that. And then there's other people who don't. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. But there are different kinds of ways of looking at the world. And ultimately, most people kind of come to sort of an average between those two. They come to reconcile different parts of themselves, including the things that they saw growing up and the things that they themselves did as they grew up. So hopefully that's something you can either reach or aspire to. I do as well. I aspire to it, to that kind of reconciliation. But this is telling me that whoever this reading is for is somebody who went and tried to find their own way and tried to find some meaning in life that had something about finding justice and truth. Because the Knight of Swords is very much about wanting to create justice in this world. They're an activist of some kind. They're in some kind of movement. They're in some kind of cause that they truly believe in. And they want that cause to succeed. So they go look for meaning. They're not necessarily just motivated by financial or social status or financial success. But they are interested in finding meaning and purpose in life, which is very interesting when you consider that you're in your nurturing era. That's where you are, but this is where you come from. This is where you've been. As we asked, where have you been? How did you get here? These are the things that came up. So I want to ask where you are now, based on where you've been, what it is that you need to do in order to heal your relationship. Because I feel like this is an incomplete story. So if this is where you came from, and this is where you are right now, at least emotionally and spiritually, I want to talk about how you can heal your relationship with money and abundance. So let's bring them cards up and talk about that. 10 of Pentacles. Beautiful card. What a beautiful card. The 10 of Pentacles is a card about abundance, about legacy, about family, prosperity. It's just a great card. And this is telling me that you have worked so hard to be where you are. And your best tool in your ability to manifest your dreams, to heal yourself, is your imagination. It is your ability to imagine the things that you want to have. We spend a lot of time worrying about what we don't want. When we imagine the worst case scenario, when we imagine what we don't want over and over and over, that is what we receive. That is what happens in the world. It doesn't mean that only good things happen if you imagine good things. But I believe what it means is that we create a scenario where we invite trouble, where we might become so worried that we overlook the good that we have or that's coming our way. It's like trying to drive, but being in a constant state of panic. When you are driving a car, if you are somebody who drives, you have to have a certain level of vigilance. You have to be very present, aware of your surroundings. You have to be careful about other cars on the road and other people and animals on the road. You have to be careful of the speed limit, but you can't drive with your foot on the brake. Worrying and only worrying and imagining the worst case scenario all the time, over and over, it's like driving through life with your foot on the brake. Random things can happen, and they do, but if you drive with your foot on the brake, you're not getting anywhere. And if you try to drive with a foot on the brake and a foot on the accelerator, you're not getting anywhere, and you're probably going to damage the car. That's what I mean when I say that worrying all the time can invite trouble. I'm a strong believer in that, and I'm not always able to live that way, but 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups is about dropping what's not working and walking away, leaving what is just not working, whether it's anxieties, bad memories, unhealed, unresolved issues and trauma. A lot of times I feel like we want to resolve things. We want closure. And actually the solution is to just drop whatever it is and stop worrying about it. Stop caring, because maybe there is no resolution to some things. Maybe the resolution is to leave it behind, because ultimately some things cannot be resolved. There might be situations with family members, parents, things like that, who have passed on or who are inaccessible for one reason or another, or who are just not in the kind of headspace to help you resolve some situations. But you still need to live your life. You can't be stuck in the past always. And so this card is about dropping what is not working and walking away from it. I actually love this card for that reason. There are times when you have to address things head on. I'm not saying every situation should be dropped, but there are other times when you got to know when to just drop any expectation and move on with your life. What's blocking you when it comes to money? 3 of Pentacles. This is an interesting card for a blocking card, because this is a card about teamwork. I feel like you are somebody who have been waiting for the right combination of people to come by and help you do the things you want to do. And that comes from a place of not necessarily trusting your own abilities, maybe feeling like you're not enough, feeling you're not able to do the things you need to do. So that's why this card would be a block. Usually it's a card of teamwork, cooperation. But if it's showing up when we ask about a block, that means that you are either in the wrong team. That's possible, that you are in a work situation that is just not working for you, and this team is not working for you. It's not the kind of environment that you need to be in, or that you are hesitant to get something started because you're waiting for the right set of people to come together, and maybe you need to just start where you are with what you have and around who you are. And maybe you're not seeing the team that you do have that might not be in the exact place that you think it is. For example, there might be a friend or a family member or somebody you can collaborate with, somebody who may have the skills that you need, the drive, the trust that you can have with them, somebody who you might not have noticed before. So keep that in mind. Don't let a team or a lack of a team stop you, because you do need to heal your relationship with money in yourself, with or without other people, with or without a team. This reading is not about the work that you need to do to get there. It's about your relationship with money and your relationship with abundance. The team is nice to have, but a team that's made up of even one person who is driving with their foot on the brake is not going to be a very effective team, right? So you also need to be the kind of person whom the kind of people you want on your team want to be on the team of, if that makes sense. You have to be the best team member that you can be also. And you can do that by healing your relationship with money and not relying on the past to define you. The past is not the future. Strength. So this is such a wonderful card for this. And I just said the past is not the future. And actually I'm wearing an infinity symbol on my hand as well. And so is she. She's got a tattoo, which I think is great. The strength card is about inner strength. It's about emotional strength. It's about knowing that you have it in you, even if it's not physically available yet. See, everything around you, if you look around you right now, all of the equipment, tools, technology, devices, furniture, clothing, houses, walls, lights, food, every single thing around you was created by humans, even if they were created by machines that were created by humans. But even then, the original idea was by people. Every single thing. You are surrounded by the thoughts and imaginations of millions of people all around you all the time. Every single object was designed by people, was imagined by people, was manufactured by people. Somebody had an idea and they sat down and wrote it down or drew it out and then found a way to make it into a physical object. That includes everything, including these cards, including the jewelry that you might be wearing, including the desk that you're on, or the phone that you're watching this on, or the laptop or whatever. And then hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of other people were involved in the manufacturing of all of these objects, right? But none of that would have happened if the people who invented or imagined these things did not first have these ideas. And that's an incredible thing if you think about it. Every single thing and all the components of every single thing were imagined. And we think our imagination is not powerful. Of course, then things have to be implemented. You can't just imagine and do nothing about it. But it all starts in your imagination. So that means the strength is in you because you have an imagination. Imagination is not just for kids. It's not fake. It's where everything real begins. Everything that you can hold in your hand that's created by people began in someone's imagination. And is this amazing ability that people have, that humans have, to imagine things. We've been imagining things since we discovered fire and invented the wheel and all the tools and all the artwork. And so what I'm saying is you are allowed to trust your imagination and you are in charge of your imagination. I believe that imagination connects us to a larger consciousness, collective consciousness, whatever you want to call it. But what part of that you focus on, you choose, is up to you. You can imagine yourself having a better life or not. You can imagine yourself just worrying all the time, or you can imagine yourself having the life that you want, because it takes the same amount of energy. Worrying about something does not make it not happen. Imagining and working on something being better is what makes the thing you might have worried about not happen. If you drive with your foot on the brake, you'll never get there. But you do need a brake there. You need the brakes there in case something happens and you need to brake. And eventually when you need to stop and park your car, you need a brake. But during the time that you're driving, you can't drive with your foot on the brake. So trust your imagination. Trust your inner strength. Even if you did not have the greatest beginnings and you got mixed messages, that's okay. You have gone your own way. You can still reclaim the love and nurturance that your parents, parental figures, family members gave you. And if they gave you anything that's not useful to you, you can just walk away from that emotionally. You can leave that behind. You don't have to carry their bad messages. You don't have to carry their trauma. You don't have to carry their mistakes. You can leave those behind. You're allowed to leave those behind and carve your own path. Build your own team, including yourself. There are many aspects of you. You know, I do several different small businesses. I create handmade products. So there's a part of me that's creative. There's a part of me that's more into the business side of it. There's a part of me that has to budget and plan and do all the things there, marketing, create websites. I also do all the technical work. So that's my own inner team. Then I have people helping me. What I'm saying is build your own team, make your own path, be part of a collective effort to lift others, because when you lift others, you will also be lifted. Your abundance is going to come by lifting others, by serving others, by nurturing others. But you have to do it. So it's a combination of your individual strength and your ability to connect with others. That's so important, whether it's online, offline, because when you serve others, that's when abundance comes in your life. That's all it is. Because all this money and everything, it's really a social currency. It's a way for humans to interact socially, to give and take, to go into relationship with each other, working relationships, bartering, sharing, exchanging. Serve others. Find a way to genuinely love and serve others. It doesn't mean you have to do what somebody else was doing, but it means you figure out how you can best serve others and do that. And abundance is yours. It's not a mystery. It's not in a lockbox. It's only about you getting in touch with your emotional capacity to nurture others. And the best part is that you have it in you. You already have it in you. Go to sleep imagining the best case scenario every single night. Go to sleep imagining the best kind of life you want to live. Go to sleep with that imagination. Go to sleep with that image, sensation, smell it, see it, hear it, feel what it feels like to be in the best life that you can imagine. You will see it change. You will see things change for you. I promise you that. It takes time and you have to act on it, but use your imagination. Don't discount it and don't let it control you. Don't let it run off on its own. You're able to choose what you imagine and what you focus on and drive comfortably with full knowledge of your environment, but take your foot off the brake. Don't worry all the time. Focus on what you want, not just what you don't want. I hope that this has been in some way helpful for you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please remember to subscribe and do a thumbs up so that others can also find this video. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if you're into this kind of reading, and if you're also looking for any kind of coaching or guidance one-on-one. I am seriously considering starting that as a service. I'd love to hear your thoughts. In the meanwhile, and always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a sweet infinity.